So, Kentucky Civics. Kentucky Civics. Talking about who's the most powerful person in the county, right? It's between the judge's executive and the county attorney and the sheriff. So you got all three of those branches, or all three of those positions, those individuals. And she was saying, by the way I explained things, it seemed that Kenny French and Spike Wright were friends, so they were basically equally sharing the role of the most powerful. So they both were, you know, a dual sharing, you know, powerful position. The sheriff and county ex, although he could have possibly gone along with the others to keep his office or something of that nature, sounds as if he was pretty much hand-tied, since the judge executive had control of his purse strings and the county attorney had control over the conviction of his arrest. Laugh aloud, I say it would all boil down to who's the best card player in each individual county. It could be someone who hasn't even been mentioned yet as the circuit court clerk, who might have a friendship or connections with the district judge, therefore giving him lots of political power, but who knows who all might be involved when it comes to corruption. However, in many cases, it could be one of the other less thought-about officials whose office didn't seem that powerful, but due to them being extremely popular and well-liked, they got a large amount of pull with the other officials because they have so much influence with voters, and or they got connections with higher-up state or federal offices holders with interest in the county, judge executive, or any of the other officials would basically be hurting their hopes of re-election to make an enemy of them. Also, in many counties, it's very likely that the most powerful officials run a business or perform some type of service where they have a lot of influence in the county with its voters. Also, some of the most powerful may have the backing and friendship of corporations, businesses that are getting some form of kickbacks and contracts, or who support the officials because they keep competition out of the county. In most counties, there are probably several which share being the most powerful office in the county. It's not just one or two bosses by this way, sort of a co-op of crooks. Also, they have a better chance of keeping everything under control, winning elections, and preventing other office holders who might expose their corruption from being elected to begin with. So that is a good, thoughtful response. A wealthy corporation could be ruling them all, or a powerful drug dealer could be doing the same things, or the average prescription pill seller down the road probably couldn't, but one with close connections to an organized crime syndicate, such as the Bluegrass Conspiracy. There's also the government initiatives. There's something called the Center for Rural Development. For example, I'm not sure who's involved with the Center for Rural Development in my county, but they got influence with the officials. Somehow they have a lot of involvement and influence with the program, that whether or not the county actually gets any money. So the Center for Rural Development is also has power in the county, because they you know, it's like hand in the cookie jar. So who gets the funding and who gets the grants? Who gets the funding and grants? Who gets Gallatin County's funding? Where's Gallatin County funding go? The Center for Rural Development, are they giving Gallatin County any of the money? There's a Center for Rural Development making sure that the citizens of Gallatin are being represented. That's for the officials and the citizens of Gallatin County to figure out. So, Center for Rural Development. Here I'm kind of going off on Hal Rogers and how he's an asshole for his Operation Unite. He's spending treasure on helicopters. Oh yeah, it's great. After this Newsom, Connecticut shooting, they're talking about more police and security and guns. Everybody's supposed to be carrying guns. Teachers carrying guns. Janitors carrying guns. Kids carrying guns. You know, NRA wants everybody to have a gun. You know, all the good people have guns so you can shoot the bad people, right? So they have plenty of money to institute this police state, the surveillance state. You know, all the cops up our asses, even when we're in kindergarten, and they're bringing guns into the school, so they're actually bringing that type of environment into the school, right? They have plenty of money for that, but they don't have money for textbooks or teachers' pensions or teachers' raise or new buildings or new, you know, bus or whatever it is the kids actually need to be educated. So it's insane that, you know, we can actually, the discussion around Connecticut, the shooting in Connecticut. So, he's talking about K-Card, Pride, Unite, a lot of programs, and then KHIC. A few years ago, Jackson County was designated an empowerment zone, which KHIC administered. The president of KHIC I think also serves on the board for Rogers' other initiatives, Center for Rural Development. Does executive, serves on the KHIC board. Of course, the burning bid down employed the majority of workers, but there's still buildings and jobs left. I'm not sure where this is going. So that's Civics in Kentucky. There's the courts in Kentucky. You got the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, the circuit courts. There's 57 circuit courts, and then you got the district courts, the 60. District courts are on the bottom, then the circuit courts, and then the Court of Appeals, and then the Supreme Court, right? So the circuit courts are the felony over $5,000, all the felonies. They also got the family court, so they're dealing with kind of some bullshit, actually. It seems like family court should be a district court matter, not a circuit court matter. But circuit courts, they're doing family, so it's not all out in the open. It's like all to the side, but they're this own autonomous agent. And they say how great it's working, but I've heard several people complain about it. I think it's shitty. I don't think they actually care about justice, but which court does, you know? What judge actually gives a shit about Trimble County? I like Trimble County. That judge actually listened to the facts. He listened to one side, he listened to the other side. So he actually listened to the two sides. District Court is a court of limited jurisdiction that handles juvenile matters, city and county ordinances, misdemeanors, violations, traffic offenses, probate of wills, arraignments, felony probable cause hearings, small claims involving $2,500 or less, civil cases involving $5,000 or less, voluntary and involuntary mental commitments, and cases relating to domestic violence and abuse. So that is a district court matter. Domestic violence and abuse is a district court matter, but I guess the family court, you know, the family court somehow fucking is eaten into the district court's domain. And it all kind of comes down to, you know, what the fucking prosecutor says. Oh, that's a district court matter. Oh, that's a family court matter. Oh, that's a circuit court matter. Oh, that's a federal matter. That's a state matter. Fuck, choose somebody, okay? Somebody's going to be making some ruling, and it should be fair, right? It should be fair. We all get our day in court, and the person should listen to actually what's going on. It shouldn't be, it's built to be competitive, and that's for a reason, though, so that way you can actually get to the truth. I'm getting tired of powerful people winning and the truth losing. In the end, the truth wins. Oppressed people, in the end, oppressed people and the truth win. Y'all, Yahoo Falls Massacre. That's what y'all did to the Indians. Yahoo Falls Massacre. That will always be around. 100 Cherokee people, men, women, and children, were massacred. 1810 in McCreary County, Kentucky. White people killed them. They took the land. They took the salt. And they made a shitload of money and became rich. That's what happened back then. They're dead. They're all victims. But I remember it. And the Yahoo Falls Massacre of the Cherokee Indians in Kentucky, in McCreary County, Kentucky, continue on. Just like Chief Pluggy, the Mohawk who was slain, and also Chief Redbird, who was killed in his sleep with his own tomahawk. So, these fuckers are cowards. They're going to kill women and children. A bunch of women and children. That's what you fucking white people did in Kentucky. That's how Kentucky was first populated by the Protestants until the Catholic Germans came over, you know, and showed you English Protestants how life is actually supposed to be run. You ain't supposed to be Ku Klux Klan Protestants. Protestants, that Ku Klux Klan was Euro shit. And you guys, that's some bullshit. Fuck the Ku Klux Klan. The WASP also burned the German Catholics down here in Butchertown. The Protestants hated the fucking Catholics because they would have picnics on Sunday, and they had wine at Mass, and they didn't mind having a beer with their meal. So, oh, you know, watch out. They're having picnics and shit, and they drank a beer with their meal. So they're just, and they also talk with that German tongue, and that's just so different. They're stealing our jobs, right? These damn German immigrants. We're basically the Mexicans of America. When the Germans came in, it was just like the way people talk, the racists talk about the Mexicans. But now, some of the Germans have deflected to the racists, right? That's how you get adopted into the culture. If you're German and you were trying to get into the white Protestant culture, then you adopt their racism. Hey, you know, I don't like blacks. Oh, you don't like blacks, well then you can become part of the dominant white society. That's you're selling your fucking own soul out. You're not principled and you're a racist. So who gives a fuck what a racist thinks? Anything else? Civics. Kentucky Civics. Kentucky, if you know what your public officials are allowed to do and are not allowed to do, you can govern yourself and your children better. And you can become these positions. You can become them, and you can make sure other people are, doing their jobs properly. You know who to go to whenever you need to have a marriage certificate done, or a driver's license. Driver's license is driver's license is the circuit clerk, and the motor vehicle taxes and motorboat licenses, deeds, mortgages, marriages, and wills is the county clerk. So if you're going to get married, it's the county clerk. If you got a deed or a will, you got some land transfer, if you're about to die and you want someone's will to have it, someone to have the will, that's the county clerk. The circuit clerk is kind of everything else, civil, criminal matter. I guess there's the district court, but I don't know. I don't know exactly how all that breaks down. The judicial system is a fucking mess, okay? It's a fucking mess. It's not as well defined as the legislative and the executive branches. So, yeah, Kentucky Civics. Now watch this video over and over again and memorize this shit. Learn all this.